Well, hello guys, welcome back. So I think the old man is recruiting gay people or recruiting allies. I'm not sure because Lucky was poking me all day to make a video about being heathen and being gay. And for those of you who watch the channel, I think you've realized before I did, I kept running away from the word heathen and heathenry in general because, it's like, and gay people got enough to deal with on a daily basis without dealing with that bullshit too. And it was just a thing of I grew up in a bad household, so I think, Declaration 127 is all well and good, but if you're not putting your money where your mouth is, and as a gay person, I don't see you consistently standing up for people, and I don't see you keeping the trolls and the dirtbags off your channel or your HOF or whatever you're running, then as a gay person, I'm like, yeah, a safe place has to have somebody that's willing to bounce people that are aggressive out. They have to have someone like that. Just putting a sticker up, like say in an establishment, whatever the safe place sticker is in your area, just putting that sticker up means nothing if you're not going to back it up. Just putting up Declaration 127 means absolutely zero if you're not going to back it up. Getting back here. Oh, it says to punch a Nazi. So, Lucky's opinion. And there was this video I come on and I'm thinking and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to talk about it because if I put gay and heathen in the title, I'm going to get so much dogpiling. And there's already a woman that made a video, beat me to it, about 2 weeks ago about how people that are, homophobic are wrong. Because one, they're homophobic twats, and two, if you actually read the lore and you really pay attention to the lore, there's no way you could say that the Vikings had a problem with homosexuals. It was just that typical bro attitude of you could pitch but you couldn't catch. Sorry to all the gay guys out there, but that's what it was. And some gay places have the same idea that if you're a top, you're great, but if you're a bottom, oh, you're not as whatever. That's fucking horseshit, by the way, just so you know, because you could apply the same logic to women too. And I got, oh yeah, shut up, Loki. He's giving really off-color comments, as you can imagine. And, she talks about how, Loki's changed gender, and we've talked about it before. He was a mare, he had a full. He was a woman, he had babies, or he at least nursed babies. We're going with he had babies. He gave birth to either hags, witches, or trolls, depending on how you want to translate it, after eating a heart. He ate a heart, and he got knocked up and had children. I got, I'd like to do that. Yeah, I kind of got the idea. He likes to wear dresses and go traipsing off with Thor, who will also wear a dress if he can get his hammer back. His blood brother likes to wear dresses and practice women's magic. This is like, I would think that if you were homophobic, this would be the last group of gods you want to work with. Freyr can have all the erect phallus statues he wants, and even the one by Dryad Designs. He's sitting there with his penis erect for all the world to see. We all know that if you practice heathenry, that they did not, I believe it was the Romans, did not think very much of his priests because they did unmanly miming, and they wore bells all over their robes, and they, I guess, pranced about and were hella theater gay. And, and I'm getting cheering back there. And, there were women that were independent and strong and would kick your ass. Think of Scotty and think of Freya and think of Segan if you make her angry or cross her. And, it was not the twisted brawlhalla, all women passive, all men strong, He-Man straight. I have that book on the Vikings that Odin kept pressing me to read, and I couldn't think of why. And then I read it and started crying because the guy keeps constantly referring to Odin as third gender. He said he's really not truly masculine. And he's really not truly feminine, even though he's been both a man and he's been both a woman. He can be a blend of both. Like Loki, he can shift genders and he can shift shape and everything else. And we only have like a tiny little sliver, as Jackson Crawford would say, we have like a tiny little sliver of like a huge ship left. So we don't know how many other adventures they went on as women. We don't know if Lokean, a goddess worm, I gained shares back here, was worshipped. We don't know if Odin in a goddess form was worshipped, but we know that, it is well taken enough that Odin wore the skirt that you can now buy the charm with Odin in the skirt and working the women's magic. And I couldn't afford to buy him that, so I promised him another statue. Long story short, we are going to circle back around to being gay. Um, Statue was sold out. I thought of that thing, and he told me no. He had me buy another book pack because our fights. And I bought some pagan magic incense or pagan power, whatever the hell it was called. And we've always done stuff to celebrate that. So I made sure the Odin in the dress is on the front door, though people that don't practice heathenry won't know. And it's also on the tub mural now. So, and if you've seen me draw, it's bad, but it's on there. So, and I had a thing from Odin, and he was giving me a poke. So if you're gay and you work with the old man, you're probably getting the same poke. Shut up, Loki. He says, well, why isn't your pride flag behind you? I said, because it's too big to fit on the fridge, all father, and if I hung it up on the wall, I'd be forever going behind the pride flag and trying to get in my cabinets and getting pissed off, and it would get ripped down. He goes, oh, then how come it's not on the wall, my dear? Because it's a pride flag. You're keeping it hidden in the bedroom like you're ashamed of it or something. And there's like nothing meaner to say to a gay person than keeping it in the bedroom. So the pride flag came down, and I'm hanging it up, and I'm like just about having a heart attack. I have my windows frosted and everything for privacy. If people didn't like the Santa Muerte statue when I was working with her and she was here, they're gonna fucking die of shock when they see the pride flag. And he goes, oh, one, I can trust him to protect me, and two, there's nothing to be ashamed of, and three, I have weapons training, and I'm a pissed off gay person. So he's like, come on, you own a lot of weapons. What are you worried about? Look, he's like, everything's a weapon to her. Anyhow, it was a thing of, it's not only me hanging this flag to I'm coming out and all this other gay music, but, then one of Odin's songs that, he'll pick random songs for people. His song comes on during that playlist, and I hadn't planned it. It just was YouTube playing it, and it came on. And it was like the gods confirming, it's very outdated to say that the gods are this gender or that gender. We usually refer to Odin and Loki as male just because most people aren't used to saying they all the time. And for people my age, that's bad grammar because they was only a multiple. It wasn't a gender thing at one time. So, we say we say he for Odin. We call him the old man, but he could just as easily be the old lady. We say he for Loki, but could also be she. And every god or goddess I've worked around the world has given me the indication that they can go either way. They don't have our human hangups of sexuality or blending, because we have to remember they don't have a set form. When we start to argue about eye color or hair color or what the color of their skin is, we're talking nonsense because that's not a set form that they have somewhere. We're starting to realize now that the reason we have our stories is not to take them literally, but because if the gods had tried to explain to our ancestors thousands of years ago how evolution works, their brains would have went boop like that. They just did not have the science. They just did not have anything else to understand it. So the best they got was divine inspiration from the gods, and they were like, okay, the gods made people out of this. Technically, the gods weren't wrong. You can read one of the stories of Odin and his brothers creating the universe, and it actually is how our universe is set up. Cool, yeah? There's like these eyelash things at the edge of our universe. It's very cool and trippy. Go look it up. Stroke brain, I can't get it all. But it's been very empowering because, Odin won't take any bullshit from anybody. And he's like, you've just been running away, because he appreciates that as a gay person. It's straight people write all the books. Straight women write all the books. Straight women with relationships with the old man and Loki write all the books. And so they talk about body parts in a way that would just be alien to a gay person, and we're kind of like backing up. Even if I still like dudes, I wouldn't do that. It's not native to me. And he knows it's hard because there isn't exactly 9 billion gay, pagan, or gay heathen resources out there. It's kind of why I bounced out of Wicca too, because Wicca's very gender, you know, what is it, gender normative? Like the god and the goddess, they're going to get together, going to make babies, and that's just how everything works. And I'm getting laughter and cheers back here. And people that work with the Greek gods see it too. They get straight washed too, and then the greatest loves of their life are gone or something. And it's kind of hard as a gay person. You're fighting to point out what has obviously always been there, and you're being made to feel ashamed or bad about it. And it's like, no, bitch, it's there. Look at it. You're just not looking at it because it makes you uncomfortable because you have Christian homophobia. So there we go. Let's blame the Christians. Our ancestors didn't have homophobia. Not like, they have, they got from Christianity, the modern day wannabe reconstructionists that have the homophobia. Not all reconstructionists, but that's where it comes from. It comes from Christianity. And that was just a thing about they wanted to build up the armies as big as possible, so you better be popping out them babies. They really didn't give two shits if you were gay or not. So I got whoo back here. So I know that was kind of rough around the edges, and I certainly don't have the equipment of this person made this video. I don't know if I'll link you to it or not. I might not. I might not. I certainly don't have that kind of budget to make a video. But it was a thing Loki wanted me to talk about. I think some people can't comprehend that one, pansexual is a real flavor of gay, and two, we don't all dress or talk a certain way, and we don't get attracted to say heathenry or Odin or Loki for any weird reason. We can make a whole other video, and you guys let me know below about why I don't think it's a good idea just to shove the gay people with Loki, because it's like, do you straight people like every straight god? Same thing. Just because somebody's gay doesn't mean they're gonna get along with Loki. I saw a transgender person flip her shit, and she should have. I think trans woman, because they were being forced to go with Loki, and they did not want Loki. They did not like Loki. They didn't give two shits if he could transform, and they said, there's a huge difference, and they were right, between a god just being able to transform like that and all the procedures and all the medicine and all the other stuff you have to do to transform on a physical level. So, if you want to have a video like it, and I'm gender fluid, which basically would put me in the trans community, but I being gender fluid, there are days that I'm definitely a dude. There are days I'm definitely a gal. There are days I'm nothing at all, but I don't announce it to you. There's also a writer who wrote about the Norse gods for children that I'd like to slap the shit out of him with his book, because I'm like, it's so fucking dangerous to be gay in some areas that it's very irresponsible to teach gay people they should be running around screaming their pronouns, because it's not safe to be out everywhere. In this state, they can deny me work, medical care, a place to live. Yeah, it fucking sucks sometimes. And every gay person on the planet has been in dangerous situations where they know they would either get kicked out of their family, or they were about to be attacked, or they were going to lose something else. Yeah, it sucks to be gay sometimes. Some days it's pretty awesome. Some days it sucks and it's genuinely life-threatening. So why the hell wouldn't Odin want people that have to deal with that and survive? So I got yes back here. So I got gay is awesome back here. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye bye.